Hello, welcome to this week's Grow Up on Purpose with Tamika. Today, I want to talk about the necessity of being committed to yourself. A lot of times, people say, what does it mean to be committed to yourself? Well, being committed to yourself simply means doing for yourself what you say that you will do for yourself. That means if you said that you're going to get up early in the morning to prepare breakfast for your household, then that's exactly what you do. If you say that you're not going to spend money on things that you don't need, you do exactly what you say. The sole purpose of being committed to oneself is with the you want the outcome of being better for yourself, fruitful for yourself, being committed to yourself. You want to be the best version of yourself, and if you can't be committed to yourself, then we can't expect anyone else to be committed to ourselves, to oneself. So you think about it. A lot of people in the world, we say we want to be happy. We want our lives to be fruitful. We want our lives to be meaningful. However, a lot of times, if we're honest with ourselves, we're not committed to ourselves. We're committed to a lot of things. We're committed to our jobs. We're committed to our religious organizations. We're committed to our spouses. We're committed to our partners. We're committed to everything and everybody but ourselves. And sometimes that leaves us, most of the time, that leaves us in an unhappy place. So how important to you is it to be committed to yourself? In order to grow up on purpose, you have to, one, first learn to take care of you. You have to learn to take care of yourself first. There's no way that you can be an effective parent, an effective spouse, an effective employer or owner or boss if you're not being committed to yourself. So, what does that look like? Being committed to yourself. Being committed to yourself means that I make sure that I make myself a priority every day. I make myself a priority every day. I make my health a priority every day. I make what I think about a priority every day. I keep my emotions in check every day. I make sure that my household is safe every day. I make sure that my work environment is a place that I want to be every day. Now, remember, you can't control anybody or anything outside of yourself. You can control only you. So, being committed to yourself, meaning that you do all the things necessary, all the things possible within your strength to make sure that your life is fruitful. And so, what does it mean to be committed to yourself? That means that if you need to take time to lose weight, do it on purpose. If that means that you have to invest in yourself, invest in a diet plan, invest in not necessarily a diet plan, but invest in a physical health or physical fitness plan, invest in drinking plenty of water, invest in not eating a lot of restaurant food. Be committed to yourself. And if you say you're going to do it, then do it. How often do we keep our word to everybody else? How often do we keep our word to everybody else? We want to make sure that we keep our word to everybody else. To our children, if we tell our children we're going to do something, we actually do it because we want to make sure that our children have faith in us, or our children believe us, our children love us. How committed are we to our coworkers, on a job? We want to maintain our job, so we're committed. I mean, we wake up early, we go to work, and we make sure we go to work on time. We punch in on time. I know that's old school, right? But we make sure that we go to our job on time. We make sure that we are being the best that we can be for our employer. If you are a boss or owner of your company, You want to make sure that everything's in line because you want to make sure that your money's right. You want to make sure that your employees are right. You want to make sure everything flow well, right? You're so committed to those things that are outside of yourself. But then when it comes to being committed to us within ourselves, being committed to the way we think about ourselves, being committed to being the best versions of ourselves physically, not talking about everything that's outside of us, because we know how to be committed to those things. Some of us, we got that down pat. Some of you may need to learn how to be committed in those areas as well. But there's no way, it's simply impossible to be totally committed to anything outside of yourself without ignoring the commitment that you make with yourself. How bad do you want to be committed to yourself? How important are you to yourself? Does it matter that you keep your health in check? Does it matter that you keep everything about you in check? Does it really matter to you? I mean, I pose that question all the time. Sometimes we give out gifts to other people. We send out literature to other people. We share videos on social media. We give all this information out to other people to help them to become a better person, to help them become a better them. But what about when it comes to us? And I'm gonna ask you again, how committed to yourself are you? If you say that you're gonna do something for yourself, that which embetters you, that makes you better, how committed are you doing it? Or do you just pull it to the side? Do you procrastinate when it comes to yourself? You procrastinate when it comes to doing what you said you're going to do for yourself. How committed? How happy are you with yourself? Your happiness comes from within. Are you happy with yourself? Being happy with yourself, you have to learn to be committed to yourself. How committed to yourself are you? Let me turn this off of this computer right here. But yeah, I want to know, how committed to yourself are you? I hear a lot of people, again, we talk about being happy. We talk about achieving goals. How many of you have said to yourself, I have a lot of goals I want to accomplish. I want to open up this business. I want to write this book. I want I want to do X, Y, Z for myself. But how many of you have actually written a goal down? How many of you may have written a goal down, but how many of you have created a course of action or action plan to see that that goal comes to pass? How many of you have written a goal and a course of action and then have actually begin to work on that plan for yourself? Sometimes we work so hard for other people that we forget to work for ourselves. So how committed are you? I heard somebody say the other day, and I admire him for this because this is something that I teach my clients. How dare you go work 8 hours at somebody else's job and then be too tired to come home and work on your vision or work on the company or the job that you want to start, or you know what I'm saying? So if I can give you 8 hours of my time and build your company and build your brand and build your business, how dare I come home and not be committed to myself and work 5 hours for myself throughout the night? How committed are you to yourself? If that means that I have to stay up late at night, even though I worked an 8 hour shift and I had to come home and cook and make sure my family was taken care of, and when they went to bed, stayed up and had to write that book or had to finish that paper because I'm totally committed to myself as well as being totally committed to others. You don't have to neglect yourself in order to prove to others that you can be committed and faithful to them. That is foolish to neglect yourself and be so committed to other people. There is not vain. Now, some of you too committed to yourself. I'm not talking about vanity. I'm not talking about being vain, being conceited, being thinking you just more than everybody else. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a healthy commitment with yourself. I'm talking about a healthy relationship with yourself. I'm talking about something that's necessary. that you need to see you for who you are. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about no vanity that all you think about is yourself. No, that's not what talking about. What I'm talking about is improving yourself. And that means even for those of you who are so vain and so full of yourself, um, become a better person and be committed to yourself by kind of making sure that the reason why you feel that way about yourself, you feel like you're so better, is it really some insecurities within yourself that you have to do all of that? That's a whole nother segment. We're not talking about false humility or superficial vanity. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those who are totally committed in every area of their lives or some areas of their life, but they find it difficult. And sometimes they feel bad about being committed to themselves, being committed to their own goals. Some of us don't work jobs like 20 years or 10 plus years, being committed to a company that will let us go in a minute, being committed to bosses and supervisors who will replace us at the drop of a dime. But then it's very difficult for us to commit to ourselves, taking care of ourselves, making sure that we are fine, being committed, doing, when I say being committed to yourself, that simply means doing for yourself what you said that you would do, all with the sole purpose and with the objective of improving yourself, improving your life. Once you begin to improve yourself, everything outside of you flows, it works, it becomes in sync with who you are. And with everything that we're seeing going on in the world today, it's easy for us to become distracted. And you know what? Being committed to ourselves also means, loving ourselves and treating other people fair, treating and loving other people. True commitment to ourselves, meaning that we treat people well, we love other people. We want to make sure that the energy that we're pushing off to other people is the energy that we want returned to us. Being committed to ourselves doesn't mean that we see people in need and we just we actually ignore their needs. But there's no way that I could feed your needs if my own needs are not met. Being committed to ourselves first, above all things, so we can be um, helpful to other people. So we can be helpful to other people. Self care. I know during this pandemic, during the whole coronavirus thing, a lot of people, have been afraid. They have been anxious. They have been neglecting themselves. They have, many people have lost jobs, and the children are at home, and school is taking place at home. So much stress is going on. But I say to you today, make a choice today, make a decision today to become so committed to yourself. Get up and read that book if you need to. If you need to free your mind mentally, if you need to free your mind, get up, read that book, write in your journal. Free your mind. Be so committed to yourself. Express how you feel. Express to yourself what it is that you want in life. If it's just a peace of mind that you need, be committed to yourself to get up early in the morning or late at night and just spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself above everybody and everything that you know. For the mothers, it's time for us to be committed to ourselves. Just as committed as we are to our children, it's time for us to be as committed to ourselves as we are to them. It's time for us to be a healthy us in order to be a healthy them. And I'm not talking about you mothers that all your time is away from your children. That's not healthy. I'm not talking about parents that neglect their children and spend too much time with themselves. That's a whole nother segment. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about mothers who are totally committed to their children, mothers who are totally committed to their spouses, mothers who are totally committed to their jobs, their workplaces, their partners, mothers who are totally committed to everyone outside of themselves. It's time for us to become committed to us. That means that if we need to get away and read a book, get away and listen to some music, get away from the rest of the world and work on us, it's okay to do. And so, with that being said, I want you to some strategies that you may want to use. I'm gonna turn this off real quick. Some strategies that you may want to use is write it down. How committed to yourself on the scale of 1 through 10? Ask yourself, how committed are you with yourself? How many times out of a day or out of a week do you say that you're going to do something for yourself and you don't do it? It's something that will benefit you. How many times do you say, I'm going to get up and I'm going to exercise, I'm going to lose this weight, but you're so tired because you've been committed to so many other things and so many other people that you don't even have the time to get up in the morning to do a 5-minute exercise or 10-minute exercise because you spend most of your time being so committed to other people. So let's make up in your mind, write it down that I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to exercise, or I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to have myself a cup of coffee before the kids, before everybody get up in the house, and I'm going to spend time with myself. How committed to yourself are you that you will get up early in the morning and read the scriptures that you want to read to get your day started? How committed are you? Write down some strategies that you can do. Write down some goals that you want to accomplish in a week's time, and it don't have to be really long goals, but let's start using baby steps. Write down a goal. I'm gonna get up in the morning and I'm going to make my lunch for school. I'm gonna make a healthy snack for school. I'm thinking about my job. You get up in the morning and you make a healthy lunch for yourself instead of ordering out with your staff members like we do a lot of times. But a lot of times I do. I try to make a healthy snack in the morning. How committed? I'm talking to myself. So how committed are we to ourselves? We want to improve everybody else. Begin to write those things down. Begin to process it. Write sticky notes. I will be committed to myself. I will be committed to myself because I love myself. I will not give up on myself. I will work on myself. I will make sure that I'm all that I desire to be. Everything that you need to be, God already placed it inside of you. So all it takes is a commitment. Begin to set those goals for your life. Begin to utilize the tools that you know to do for yourself. I know you don't read a lot of books. I know you done read a lot of books that you simply ignored the strategies that's in the book, but begin to put to work those things that you know that you need to do for yourself. Be totally committed to yourself. Just try being totally committed to yourself. If you need to get up in the morning early, and when I keep saying that, somebody that's watching it, you need to get up early in the morning and you need to take care of you. You need to get up early in the morning and read a scripture. You need to get up early and journal. You need to get up early and free your mind. You need to get up early in the morning and play some soothing music to prepare you for that job that you really probably don't even want to go to. If it's a job that you don't want to go to, guess what? I say this to people all the time. Don't complain about the job that you're at. You prepare to leave that job. If you're not preparing to leave where you are, then don't complain about it. It don't make sense to complain. Stop complaining about things that you're not preparing to leave. I tell people all the time, if you feel like, how committed are you to yourself? If you don't like the place where you work in, you don't like the place of the work that you have to do to provide for your family, then what are you doing to prepare to leave that place? What are you doing to prepare yourself for the next level? The next place that you want to go? How committed are you to leaving that job? How committed are you to leaving that career, leaving that commitment that you made? How committed are you to yourself? It's up to you. Nobody's gonna make the change for you. And so guess what? It's possible. But the first step is to write it down. I am going to be committed to myself. I am going to be committed to myself. I am going to be committed to myself because I love myself, because I want to be the best version of myself, because I want to be everything that I was purposed to be in the land of the living. I want to die empty. Everything that's in me, I want to birth it out. If that means I have to stay out late, I have to stay up late at night to finish the book, if I have to stay up late to finish the paper, if I have to stay up late writing the vision and making it very plain, if I have to stay up late setting the goals, I will be remain committed to myself. I will know, say to yourself, I will no longer go work 8 hours at somebody else's company, somebody else's job, and then go home too tired to be committed to myself. I know you work the 8 hour shift, you work the, you got to drive back home, you got to feed the kids, you got to tend to the family, you got to wash the clothes, you got to do all of these things. But guess what? You have to sacrifice sometimes to be committed to yourself, because guess what? It won't always be like this. It won't always, you won't have to always stay up late to finish the paper. Guess what? If you're totally committed to yourself, you will complete the coursework and you will graduate with the degree that you've been working on. If you stay up late just for a little while, you will write the book that you have been predestined to write. If you stay up for a little while, the business plan that you've been needing to complete, you will complete it. Just stay up just a little bit longer at night and be committed to yourself. In the end, it will pan out. I'm going to close this segment again. For those of you who are not able to um, uh, uh, if you need life coaching, you're not unable to, again, unable to hire a life coach, unable to have a meeting with me, you're unable to, I do virtual meetings. Again, I say I do virtual meetings, I do phone call meetings, I meet the needs, I meet my clients needs where they are. I do office meetings, I do conferences, I speak a lot of empowerment for everyone. If you have not, and I'm gonna say this before I close, if you have not purchased my newly released book, Grow Up on Purpose by Tamika Johnson, do so. The journal to this book should be released tomorrow. Hopefully, tomorrow, the journal should be released. And in this book, I have tools and strategies that you can use to grow up on purpose, being committed to yourself, eradicating negative thinking, setting goals, replacing negative goals with, negative thoughts with positive thoughts. Um, and then being committed to yourself by telling people, do not disturb my peace. I'm so committed to myself. I'm on a life journey to better myself, to make myself. This is for, guess what, men and women. You can grow up on purpose. And also, I want to talk about purchase. You ladies in waiting, this book for ladies too. Men, you can read it if you want to get into the minds of us women. This book is called The Protector, the Provider, My Husband, My King, and I'll Wait. I am one of the 9 authors of this book. This book was also released September 1st. Well, this book was released August 13th. We did the pre-sale on August 13th for this book, but this book was actually released on September 1st. But this book is full of information from single women, divorced women, ladies still in waiting for their Boazes, waiting patiently. These are women who are about their business. This book is full of women who are totally committed to themselves. They're committed to other people, but guess what? They are totally committed to themselves. And guess what? You'll learn that it was a process and being totally committed to themselves. In order for them to be the wife that they are, or being the lady in waiting that they are, they have to first of all be totally committed to ourselves. Me too. We have to be committed to ourselves before we could be committed to anybody else. And it's all genuine. It's all love. So, ladies, if you are a lady in waiting and you want to learn how to wait with grace and poise, guess what? Grab the book and you're going to hear from 9 different women's point of view, how they waited, how some of them are still waiting. I even talk about after marriage when you have to wait. Sleeping Alone, chapter 8 is my book, Sleeping Alone. Again, if you have not grabbed a copy of these 2 books, do so. It's time to grow up on purpose. It's time to read books. It's time to set goals. It's time to journal. It's time to free our mind. It's time to be all that God has called us to be. It's time for us to let the pettiness alone. It's time for us to stop focusing on things that don't matter, things that don't have anything to do with the goals that we have for our life. I say this all the time. If it does not have anything to do with where you're going, don't pay any attention. Don't be distracted by pettiness. Don't be distracted by those who are standing still, those who are dictating and spectating your life, looking at your life, and they're doing nothing with theirs. Guess what? Even for y'all type of people, you can come on and grow up on purpose too. So let's grow up on purpose. Next week, tune in next week to Grow Up on Purpose with Tamika. And again, I want to remind you to stay committed to yourself. If you can be committed to everyone else, guess what? You can be committed to yourself. Let's grow up on purpose. Let's grow up intentional with Tamika Johnson. Thank you.